Ahoy, people of all waters! Hi, I am Godot. I'm making a sailing and naval combat RPG that plays in the 18th century. Under the hood is a realistic sailing simulation, where you can control single sails of small brigs, fast frigates and terrifying ships of the line. Each ship is physically simulated, so you need to master your ship to survive storms and fierce battles, where each cannon is simulated individually. The open world is peppered with handcrafted islands and traders, as well as great nations' warships roam the waves. You take the role of the self-proclaimed pirate captain who seizes the opportunity to escape the English Navy and to seek his own fortune. Since my last video, a year has passed, and I was working on my 18th century naval game, and so much has happened in those months. I took a research trip to the historic fleet in the UK, I learned how to sail a boat with 2 sails in Italy, I lost my stepfather, and I became a father myself. And all the time I was consistently working on this passion project of mine about sailing and battling 18th century warships. In June last year, a very good friend of mine and I finally traveled to the UK to visit those old ships the Brits still have in their ports. I knew that I had to learn a lot to make my game what I wanted to be. We started our trip in London, more precisely in Greenwich here, and even more precisely in the National Maritime Museum. On the way to it, we found the Cutty Sark, a tea trader from the 19th century, but it was a bit too touristy, so we continued to the National Maritime Museum. The museum is vast, and we fully immersed ourselves and didn't really take any photos. However, I made my first great discovery there, and that is how amazing those Navy board model ships are. I admired the detail and desperately wanted to look closer than the glass showcases allowed. I bought this amazing book here in the museum shop, and now I take much inspiration from some of the models to create in-game ship models. Isn't this just amazing? I think it is. We took a day trip to Chatham, that's here, where we learned how those giant wooden ships were built and how their rope was made. We then visited the historic dockyard in Portsmouth, that's here in the south, where the HMS Victory is found. Of course, there are many more ships and things to see, such as this lovely piece of Special Navy operations equipment or this operational carrier here. However, Victory was really great. Although not at her most presentable due to reconstruction works on her hull, we walked below this massive wooden colossus to admire the old elm keel and millions of copper nails to hold her copper sheathing, and the massive rudder that saw action at the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805. I took photographs of so many details and I could answer so many questions I had during the past ship modeling sessions in Blender. Of course, I knew that I wouldn't be able to transfer all of those details to the game, but now I could make conscious decisions about what to keep and what to leave to the players' imaginations. There's the massive oven in the mess. And here's how the bowsprit is held in place at the bow section of the ship. And here's some gunnery stuff. We also visited the remains of the Mary Rose, a battleship sunk in 1545, and the museum hosts a lot of everyday artifacts from naval life of the 16th century. Our last stop was a visit to the HMS Warrior. That's an armored and steam-powered frigate of the 1860s and 1880s. Although it really felt like a much advanced piece of tech compared to the Victory, it still featured the low deck heights. The rigging seemed still very similar to Victory's, I must say. Our journey led us to Hartlepool, that's up here in the north, where the 1817 launched Leder-class frigate HMS Trincomalee is docked. This vessel impressed us the most, maybe because she still sits in the water and seems also ready to cross the globe again. Once more, I spotted many details, and I felt great joy walking her decks. If you ever played Naval Action or another Age of Sail game, chances are high you had a rendezvous with Trincomalee or her sister HMS Unicorn. For sure I did, and I was just amazed, literally standing on the deck of this frigate. North of Edinburgh is Dundee, a whaler's town and launching point, and now museum. of the RSS Discovery. Wooden ships are better able to adapt to the pressure of enclosing ice sheets, and so it comes that this rather outdated looking vessel was the best choice in the 1901 to 1904 Discovery expedition to Antarctica. After 11 days, we flew back to Germany. That's this direction. And I was absolutely hyped and afraid of all the many details I would now have to introduce to the 3D models of the ships in my game. And I knew that this was just the starting point in my research. I wanted the feeling of controlling such a magnificent ship in rough seas and in heated battles right on my computer. And I knew that I would have to do all of it on my own and in my spare time. Okay, then the summer passed, and then in the beginning of September last year, I took another trip for field research for my game. This time was more hands-on stuff, so I started in Germany again and then traveled south to Italy, to Elba to be precise, because here in Bagnaia there's a sailing school, and I took some sailing lessons. And here you see a video of me sitting in a trident. So that's a ship like the one in the background here, or this one there, and yeah, steering the thing. So this is already a multi-personal job. So one person can control the sails, and the other the one sail and the rudder, for example. But it could also be controlled by 3 people. And this was really fun, really cool, and I learned a lot. And there were some details I wasn't really aware. That's first of all, you see me sometimes looking at the sail, so it's important to check the sail. If the sail does then it doesn't really catch the wind well. And after this trip, I knew that had to be in my game. So if you look at the sails, you know if they work properly or if you have to change how the sails catch the wind. And then also some graphical stuff that came to my attention. Look at the reflection here. This reflection is incredible, right? Incredible. And the blue colors, oh my god. I really loved it. Yeah, I came back. I knew how to sail, at least the basic stuff. And I recently had a test play with a friend of mine, and he is a sailor, much more experienced than I am now, of course, because I just had 1 week of sailing. He has years, and he said the game really feels like sailing, and I'm so happy about that. It's so great. If you're still watching, I hope you like it and it's interesting. So I briefly mentioned that I bought this book, which is really nice because there are those cool models in here that I used to do my models in the game. But there are also other ships. Books. For example, this one here. It's huge. It's humongously huge. I wasn't aware that's that big. I ordered it from, in the internet. It showed me the dimensions, but I wasn't aware it would be like this big. But I like it because, for example, in here, there's some color schemes. And I'm looking at these images, and with Godot I can control the color schemes in the game. And I try to approximate some of the images shown in here. So I try to be a little bit artsy, of course. And then there's one more book, that's this one here, Seamanship in the Age of Sail, which is amazing. It answers all the questions I had when I traveled to Great Britain. But anyway, so there are a lot of details. For example, here you can see, what kinds of lines are attached to sails and how the sails are furled and so on and so on. And seriously, it's all questions you could possibly have to how to sail a ship that are answered in here, or stuff like this, like real maneuvers, you know. This is, I think it's attack. Didn't even check. Yeah, it's attacking maneuver, attacking step by step. This is so cool because, of course, I need to teach the AI how to sail the ship. So it's nice if the player can find out how to sail the ship, but I also need to teach the AI so that the other ships in the game do feasible things and not just crush against the rocks or something like that. Okay, that's now all I wanted to share, and see you next time. Bye bye.